first of all, let's identify the root of the problem. What's the root of the problem? It's not just an addiction.
Yeah.
You have literally removed the dreams,
Yeah.
right? The hope, the future
Yeah.
of these young people,
Right.
The hope of a job, the hope of a career, the hope of
Yeah.
education, owning a home, having a family. And so what does the Bible say? Without vision, the people perish. And in this case, because of a lack of vision that has been taken from them, they are literally destroying their own lives. They are perishing at their own hands. And then, of course, that drug is a vicious cycle once it gets in your system.
Well, hey there. Welcome to What Was That About? I'm Moses Khan. I am with Dr. Tony Saldano, lead pastor here at All People's Church. How you doing, Pastor?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It might get bumpy today.
Yeah, we've had some statements come out made by some politicians, and usually they're very cautious in
Very
their
gray.
words. Yeah, they don't go right or left. They don't go black or white. They're kind of in the middle.
A lot of words, but say nothing.
Yeah, it's true. What did they say? That was a lot of words.
You know what? Thank God Jesus wasn't like that, because we would never know how to get saved and how to please
Jesus
God.
was a G. He said, I came to bring the sword. I came to divide. You're
Yeah.
going to know what's right. You're going to know what's wrong.
Yep.
You never had to question what side.
Black
Jesus
and
was on.
white.
That's
Yep.
right.
This is the truth. This is a lie. Right.
It's so true. But the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, Dougie, is...
Hey, maybe he's watching. Hey, Doug.
Shut up. He had made some comments, which I thought I was kind of shocked by. I was surprised. And this was in regards to shutting down some safe
Injection
sites.
Right.
And he had made a statement to basically say, hey, if you're healthy and you're able, it's time for you to start working. It's time for you to start working.
Yeah.
And usually what the narrative of politicians in this country is, hey, don't worry, you don't want to work? We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that, man? I was like, wow, I'm surprised that he made a statement like that.
Well, I think, good for him. First of all, let's call out the genius, and I'm being sarcastic, the genius of the federal government
There you go.
that decided to, legalize hard drugs and to give it to people.
Right.
Hey, and their theory is, well, they're going to do it anyways, so let's give it to them
Yeah.
in a safe site so that it'll be controlled and they're not going to hurt themselves. However, the overdoses and lives being lost is out of, this is their genius. This is their genius, right? Is let's give them more. Then, of course, these safe sites were near schools and playgrounds and hospitals, and so little kids are there with needles. Like, this is the genius.
Yep.
This is the genius of the federal government that thinks this is the best way to handle this. And by the way, if I've been there, downtown Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver.
Horrible.
Right?
Yeah.
These people they're in a state of like zombiness. It is something that is literally out of a movie. And this is your idea. This is how we're going to fix the system, by feeding the system.
Yeah.
Pastor, it'd be like this. It'd be like if there's a rat in your house, right? Rather than calling an exterminator or catching the rat or finding the solution, the idea would be, let's feed the rat, right? So that he'll be happy and won't attack any of the family members, and it'll be okay. Not that the rat will have more rats,
Right.
or that the rat may decide to get into the food or infect or bite. No. This is literally the genius. This is the concept that we are dealing with. So Doug Ford starts shutting down these things, and good for you.
Good for him. Yeah.
Good for you, because that is the right logical thing to do. But of course, the media, those left-wing rabid radicals that jumped all over him, and where are they supposed to go and what are they supposed to do? Well, fix the problem.
Fix the problem.
Deal with the root of the issue rather than feeding them the very thing that's killing them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was in Toronto not too long ago, and one of these sites nearby, and here you see this guy literally just high as a kite, like a zombie. And there is right next to him a mom with her son at a bus stop. And you can just tell the mom is holding on to her son for dear life, hoping. You never know how these people are going to react. You know what I mean? When they're addicts like that, you can't. They're very
Irrational.
irrational. They're very they do things unexpectedly, and so yeah, it's wild to go down there and just go, what in the world, and then to realize, wow, our government is actually,
You're aiding and abetting.
aiding and abetting. Yeah, you're helping them
Is,
in the
is, it a
worst
far,
way.
is it a far stretch to say that, and I think one of them said this, that I think Doug Ford might have said, they're the biggest drug dealer
Yeah,
in the country.
jeez.
So, like, are you getting a payola? You're getting a
Right.
cut from that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because I always say, whatever the issue is, follow the money.
Follow the money. So true, so true. And so yeah, good for Doug Ford for doing this and making these calls. And
But let me ask you the question. You're a younger person. Here's my concept.
Yeah.
Because people say, well, what's your solution? Well, first of all, let's identify the root of the problem. What's the root of the problem? It's not just an addiction.
Yeah.
You have literally removed the dreams,
Yeah.
right? The hope, the future
Yeah.
of these young people,
Right.
Right? The hope of a job, the hope of a career, the hope of
Yeah.
education, owning a home, having a family. And so,
true.
what does the Bible say? Without vision, the people perish.
Perish.
And in this case, because of a lack of vision that has
Yeah.
been taken from them, they are literally destroying their own lives. They are
Yeah.
perishing at their own hands. And then, of course, that drug is a vicious cycle. Once
Mm-hmm.
it gets in your system, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of that as a young person? What do you?
Yeah, no, I think it's wild. I think it's evil wrapped in, oh, we're actually taking care of them. Because I think what they want to see ultimately is, hey, these guys are worthless. They're not contributing. So let's just give them a controlled environment so that they can overdose and die. And this might be morbid, but hey, at least it'll be easy to find their bodies. You know what I mean? I think that's the mentality. And so, yeah, as a young person, I look at that and I go, man, can we not open, resources for these people, rehabs for these people? Like if we're opening up buildings and we're supplying certain things, it's like, can't we supply the solution? Can't we provide something that's actually going to help them come out of this rather than keep them in this for how many ever years until they die?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it is wild to think, hey, that's the future.
Yeah.
And then if you think about, you really want a government that, hey, if you have an issue, we'll just give you a controlled environment where you and your issue can live. What?
Right.
Yeah, that's going to create a beautiful world for my children.
Right.
And so it's just it is bizarre.
Yeah.
It is bizarre and it makes no sense. It's completely illogical.
Yeah. And one of the way that God works is he always paints a better future than either the past or the present.
That's right.
He's always saying, I have a better future, I have better plans, Jeremiah 29:11. I have hope for you.
Yeah.
And this is what these people have lost. They've lost all hope
Yeah.
that the future is going to be any good.
Right.
And so why not, do drugs? Why not live for that moment
Yeah.
of ecstasy?
Yeah.
And and I've never done drugs. I've never done any types of drugs. So I can't even pretend to describe what they do for you. But clearly, my understanding of those that have taken it is that kind of that virgin shot that you take, right? Is so euphoric that you're constantly chasing that, and you just can't get it. You can't get it, and then it becomes addictive. You need more. You need more, and you need harder stuff.
Yeah.
In order to get to that place where you want to get to. But the reality is they have no hope. They have no future.
hope.
This is literally an epidemic of a generation
Yeah.
that is being destroyed, and you're feeding it. You are, you're going to be responsible for these lives.
That's right.
You think you're helping them, and you're literally, you might as well put the gun to their head and say, hey, go shoot yourself, because it's the same thing.
Yeah. And how depressing is it to, if that's your solution, basically you're saying, hey, I know you have no hope for yourself. I want to tell you, I have no hope for you either. So here you go.
Right.
Right. And so that's just that's terrible. It's God positions us in a place where it's like, hey, if people don't have hope, man, have hope for them.
Right.
Have hope for them. Give them what they lack. Give them what they don't have so that they can break out of, the patterns of the past and addictions and the rest of it, and they can move forward and actually take care of themselves, work like Doug Ford said, and have families and the rest of it, and move beyond cycles of
Right.
addiction.
Follow your purpose, follow your passion. These
That's
are
right.
These are the things that we teach out of the Word of God, which, by the way, they are very anti-Word of God. They are very anti-Christ, right? And yet He's the one that transforms the human heart. He's the one that brings vision. He's the one that brings future and possibility and creativity and all the things that we celebrate, rather than allowing people to drown in their own victimization. It is just, and you can't, by the way, you can't even reason with them. They really think they're being wise. And yet, what does the scripture say? Professing to be wise, they have become fools. And it is hard. You know what? These are sons and daughters of people that, you know, in some cases, I guess, grew up in quote unquote normal homes, you know, with aspirations and dreams. And somewhere, you know, Pastor Moses, they made poor decisions. And I want to say to young people, you know, particularly in the area of drugs and alcohol and pornography, things that are addictive in nature. I get that we have habits, but things that are addictive, that have the power to literally destroy you once it gets into your system. You know, unless God sets you free, you're done. Don't go there. You know, sometimes it can just start with, you know, sleeping pills or things that just kind of seem
innocent and
really harmless, or the reverse, right? You know, what's the word? You know, pills that keep me awake so I can study, and it just opens a door. Opens a door.
Don't want to go there.
That you do not want to go there. There are better ways. There are better ways to deal with stress, anxiety, pain, whatever, than to go into these areas of addictive behavior. That once you're in it, man, it takes the power of God to get you out. You know. Now I thank God that God can deliver these people. He has this power. We have heard testimonies of it, but it is tough. Don't go there. Don't go into the devil's playground.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, so our prayer is, hey, not only does God, you know, free these people and protect the next generation, but man, that God would raise up people who have better solutions and can build a future that doesn't look like this. And,
you know, some people will watch this, Pastor Bo. Sometimes they say, well, you know, that I'm anti-government. I'm not anti-government. As a matter of fact, government comes from God. The Bible talks about this. Now, what I am is anti-stupidity.
Come on.
Right? I'm anti-foolishness. I'm anti-corruption. I'm anti-greed. Like, if you really care for people, you wouldn't be making these decisions. So it's not that I'm anti-government in any way. We need government to bring rule and order. But this is just complete nonsense. It's maddening. It doesn't make sense. And I think this is one of the reasons why they are poor, or, you know, they're polling so poorly. Because people are looking at the country and saying, you know, what is going on? And how did we get here?
So true.
How did we get here? And how do we get out? And how do we get out?
Wow.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, proud of Doug Ford there.
We don't like everything he does.
In this occasion.
Call it out.
In this occasion.
He's made a few, you know what? He's made a few bold statements lately. And by the way, you know, I always kind of measure statements by what side the media is on. You know, usually they're on the wrong side. And so when they're attacking politicians, you're probably like, it's probably the right comment you made.
So true. Hey, thank you for joining us for today's episode. Let us know what you think about this issue in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for your support. Like this video, share it with a couple people. Pastor, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, we'll see you in our next episode. God bless.